starting life. I remember I used to have 1 meal a day so that my kids can have a 3-square meal. And being special needs children, like my children were lactose intolerant, you have to buy very expensive milk. And then at that point, I couldn't afford it. And then Andrew needed medication to control his convulsions. And it was tough. I got notice of disconnected electricity, notice of evacuation. But you don't give up. And the other thing that I learned from that is friendship. The people who say they're your friends by word only. Because so many people would say, if you need anything, you can count on me. And when you call them, that's when you realize it was just a statement to make you feel good at that point. Because every time you call, it's, I can't. And the hardest thing is like someone will tell you they can't. Even it was just basic. Something as small as give me 500, I just buy milk for the boys. I'll give you in the next 2 days when a client pays. And then the next minute you'll see someone has bought something else and you're like, it was for the children, it was not for me. We're supposed to be friends. You're supposed to be there for me. We've been friends for long. But sometimes, you know, they don't have that responsibility, and that's one thing sometimes you have to learn. It's by choice for someone to help you. So that taught me to be very, very independent. I'm if anything, if I call out for support, I have to be able to do it myself and make sure of that. Later, I expanded. I got into BNI. I took time out and joined Alabastron and worked on myself, because sometimes you remember you carry so much burden, all this pain from everyone, from a broken marriage, from childhood, where someone had taken advantage of me and I couldn't talk to anyone. It all comes piling up and it messes up your relationships, because even the things that sometimes we hear in school, at home, when you're told you're not enough, you're stupid, you can't do it, we package it. What we don't realize, it affects us in the future. So I took time in 2015 to deal with me as Sylvia. Who am I? What do I want? Will I let my broken social life define who I am? And I had to come out of that shell and love me for who I am, take myself, self-care. The only people I remember, I had my closest friend, and I had my dad would come in every morning. But then as much, you have to be content with like, oh, you know, now with the social media, it will be just warrior on Facebook. But having that actual friend to stand by you was one thing that if I say through my hardships, was the hardest, to find someone who'll stand by you. So you learn to just believe in you and pick yourself up. And then I called, as a Rotarian, I joined Rotary after I did my self-work. I joined Rotary because I was now ready to step out of my shell. And in Rotary, I found a new family, to say that, and service, because I wanted to help. I'm a natural nurturer. So I wanted to have that where I can put my energy. And of course, I had my networks, which was helping my business, because it was a young business at that point. And I found mentors also who have now helped me scale up my business. I joined Business Network International, where now I got so much into it that I learned. I got a mentor in business. I spread out. So from Tech Hub Services, I rebranded to Tech Hub Holdings. Then I demarcated that. I had Tech Hub Creations for design and branding and PR and communications. I have Tech Events, because I found myself so much in the event space, and those feed into each other. If I get an event, then I brand it, of course. We find that synergy. By 2019, you know, I lost 2 of my friends in the span of 1 year. So every time I looked at this photo of the 3 of us, and they were like, you know, that very successful one, achieved, taking care of their parents, very prayerful, I kept asking myself, oh my God, I am next. What do I have to show for my life? What have I done? You know, because when I was going through hardships, my relationship with God practically ended, because I could not understand how God could be so cruel and let me go through all these things. I kept questioning why. Why do I have 2 special needs kids? Like, one is not enough. And I got my answer. One day I decided to go to Consolata, just for the sake of the kids to grow in that space. And this lady walks up to me and tells me, God says he loves you. And I'm like, do these things really happen? Like, you're kidding. I went and told my mom, I was like, can you imagine this woman walks up to me and tells me this? She's like, you know, God talks to us in different ways. Then now I really now focused on that. what is this is trying to say. Every book I opened, it was about speak up. It was about less fortunate. So that's how I got drawn to find out what it is. So one day after like deep prayer, there was this Psalms 31, 8 and 9. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves and ensure justice is done. So, and that's where now I got my purpose of, I knew, I went to the UK to try and stay with my sister and align my head. Because for me, I thought I was actually dying. Because when all your inner circle, and I was like, what's my purpose? Everywhere I went, it was about special needs, this person, special needs that. So I just took a book and started taking notes and asking questions, how it was done in the UK. How did they end up with systems that actually function? Because my sister's child also has Down syndrome. So he was in a special school. I was able to go to the school. So I took about 1 month away. I just told my mom, just take care of my kids and the nanny. I brought in my grandma and I told them I need time to figure out what it is that I want. And I'm glad for that support because I would not have been able to find myself